What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Slightly Modified YouTube channel, where we slightly modify everything we own. But enough with all that. Let's get back to work on the car. So we haven't worked on the car in a while. Well, you guys haven't seen me work on the car in a while. I've been working on it slowly but surely, but instead of filming like little tiny clips here and there, I got some work done and I'll just show you what I did. And then next we will go over everything else that I'm trying to do. Check this out. So I know it looks pretty much the same, but we're still just in the process of buttoning everything up in the car. So I got the engine back in for the final time, and I was having a really hard time with the heater core. It's all done. Hopefully I explained that enough in previous videos. If anyone has any questions, let me know. And I also ended up putting the heater control valve right here. The wire was long enough, I really didn't even need to extend it. Just needed to pull the loom back a little bit in the harness and re-tape it up. So that's good. So we got that done. Now basically what we're doing is we are working on the throttle cable. I got a custom throttle cable that came off of a 2JZ E36, and I thought it was going to work for the 1J, and it doesn't. I mean, it will with modifications. So what I'm going to need to do is just build a bracket off the original holes, and I'm just going to move it right here. That way it will suit our, anyways, yeah. So that's going to work out for the throttle cable. Let's see what else we got. I did bleed the coolant. Everything works fine. The heater worked great. I'm going to do it a few more times, just flushing water through it just to kind of clean out all the crap out of this used radiator I got. And also there was still a bunch of coolant in the heater core, so I had to clear that all out. So up next, what are we going to do? Pretty much everything is working. We just need to button up the motor. So we do have the intercooler piping now. We have started running. Basically, the same guy I bought the throttle cable off of, I bought this like cool pica intercooler piping. Of course, it didn't really fit without slight modifications, so I've been modifying that and mixing it up with a few intercooler pipe pieces I have left over from previous builds. We're going to be able to slap together some intercooler piping for this thing. It's not going to be perfect. I'm eventually going to take it to a professional and have them do it up right. But I'm tired of seeing this car sit here. I just want to wrap it up. So, yeah, this is pretty much where we're at. Oh, also, this was temporary. I just did that. That way, we can actually start the motor and not run the pump dry. So the power steering system is bled, and I did get a cool fitting from Powerhouse Racing. Instead of bringing it up, it brings it down. It's a swivel fitting and it's -10. So I got a -10 to 5/8 adapter. So we're gonna end up going down and then we're gonna loop it right up. So that's gonna be fixed soon. The car has no leaks, and I'm surprised, any of the coolant system fittings and anything that I did, we have no leaks. The cooling works perfectly. It was staying cool. So yeah, now everything's back apart. So what I'm doing is I am currently finishing up the radiator saddle. I had to drill some holes in it just to mount it permanently. The radiator is sitting on there nice. Where did I put it? I know I have it somewhere. Here it is. All right. So I just laid a coat of paint on this just because this was like bare steel. And what I had done was, as you can see, my garbage cut, I cut it down a little bit because with it mounted, the condenser was hitting it. So now it's all clear now. Now we can bolt that up. We're gonna slide it in and bolt it up. And then I got the bolts right there. So we're good on that. Now also what I've been working on is mounting the intercooler, because with this auxiliary fan, it is really hard to get an intercooler in here. It is possible. It is really hard. Luckily, since I'm running stock boost and everything right now, I just got some baby cheap intercooler. And what I had done was, also shout out to my boy Cody for helping me out on this. What I had done was I just kind of notched the bottom of the crash bar, kind of drilled some holes, made some tabs, and just mounted the intercooler. Now what we did was, in order to mount it on the crash bar, we had to mount it and angle it in. So as you can see, the intercooler is at an angle back. and everything fits fine. It barely touches the bottom of the auxiliary fan, so we're just going to do that. We already mocked up a lot of intercooler piping, so it looks like everything is going to work. So the goal right now is just to get the whole front end back together, because it's ready to go back together. I want to put all of this wiring back across the upper core support, make it, you know, route factory however it did. Also, let's go over one more thing before we end up putting this back. We need to delume it a little bit, because where is it? Okay, there is, here it is, the auxiliary fan plug. So we are going, it looks, actually maybe we don't have to delume it. It looks like this is going to work. So I did keep this dual function temperature switch that threads into the factory E36 radiator, because it controls your auxiliary fan, not only for your AC, but it also acts as an emergency cooling fan if your car is overheating and your normal fan, the clutch fans, just don't exist anymore. So these fans, if they cannot keep up, then this fan will kick in and help it out. This fan has 2 speeds, and with these 2 in this fan should be more than enough to cool the motor down. So what we did here is we bought a brand new temp switch, and what we had done was we put it in the spot where the drain plug was. So the drain plug was an M12 by 1.5, and I believe the sensor was an M14 by 1.5. So what we just did was we drilled it out, we tapped it to an M14 by 1.5, and then we threaded this puppy in there. So this is going to act as our new radiator drain plug, and this will be our auxiliary fan switch. Basically, that's pretty much where we're at with this build. I think within the next couple of hours, we can get this front end pretty much back together and get everything mounted up how it's supposed to be. We could put the bumper on for the final time. I already got everything mocked up. It looks like the intercooler is going to clear the bumper. I created a small little list. So lately, I've just been putting lists on my fridge, and I've been checking them off one by one. Now, it may look like a lot, but it's pretty easy stuff. Let's go over it. I put solder gauges because I didn't solder the plug for the power switch. It's going to be a straight plug-in deal. Intercooler piping, I've been working on that, but not enough to cross it off yet. Driveshaft. Excessive manufacturing, I bought the whole kit off of them. The JZ mount kit, the W58 mount, pretty much everything, the power steering and everything like that. I also bought the driveshaft from them. Well, when I went to mount the driveshaft, it was 3 inches too short. I gave them the proper measurement from the output shaft to the diff flange. They can do whatever they need to do, make me a drive shaft and send it out. But I don't know what they're doing. They're lagging. Final assemble core support. So we already talked about that. Mount the MAC valve. So the boost controller is just chilling over there by the ECU box. I need to mount that. I need to connect the map sensor. Actually, I already did that, so I can cross that off. Power steering connector, we're talking about that. I got the Powerhouse racing connector, fuel pump hanger. So what I did to get my Walbro, it's not a Walbro, it's a Deechworks 255. What I had done was I just put it in there kind of sketchily just to make it work. So I need to pull that back out and button it up. Fan wires and switch. So what I need to do is, the way that I'm running these radiator fans, I'm going to put them on one relay because I think they only pull like 25 amps combined, which is like nothing for fans. So basically what we're going to end up doing is I have this little module that you have to wire into the ECU, because the ECU is like a CAN bus style. So you have to wire this thing in. It's also going to help me out with my AC when I'm ready. But I think it's at the temperature of 180 degrees, it will send a negative out of the controller, and it will trigger the relay on and turn the fans on. So I need to wire that. That's only like 2-3 wires. Radiator brackets, IS300. So I did buy some IS300 radiator brackets, and that's how we're going to mount the radiator, because it's from a Supra, same style. What else? Radiator overflow, we'll do that last. Radiator lower support washers, I just made those, so we're going to be putting those together once we get the saddle back in. Motor mount trans, I just need to tighten those because they're still loose. Heater valve wires, extend, I already did that. Throttle cable bracket, we talked about that. Brake booster line, I just need to connect the brake booster to the intake manifold, and yeah, that's pretty much it. So we are going to get to work. I'm just going to get some stuff done here, and I'll show you what I did. Okay, we got the radiator saddle on. As you can see, it's just a really simple setup here with the bolts, and then I built this little bracket on the back, that way the nuts didn't sink through the holes. So the cool thing about this is the way that I built it is it allows for a little bit of movement. See, you can move it forward, backwards, up, down. You tilt it if you needed to have the radiator sit exactly where you want. So I'm going to leave this loose for now. I'm going to get the radiator in, and I'm going to mock up the front end so I can get the final radiator placement and make sure that the radiator is level with the core support. And then we can tighten that up, and then we'll pull it back off, and then we will mount the crash bar to these crash bar bracket mount, shock mounts, whatever you want to call them. That way we can start mocking up the intercooler piping. So on the driver's side, we took this horn, pulled it off of this bracket, and we just mounted them both to the same bracket. That will leave us room for our intercooler pipe right here, because as you can see here with the AC and the power steering, there's not really going to be a lot of room with the radiator in here to fit the intercooler pipe. So we're going over here on that side, but on this side, since I have the AC, I don't know what to call this, the receiver or the air dryer, whatever, we have that right here, and I didn't really want to move it because I plan on keeping these lines stock. This one and then this one, the one that goes to the condenser, is always going to be stock. So we're going to run this one right down this way. I had to make some modifications to the lower radiator hose to clear it, so there would be a little bit of room for that. But that's pretty much the direction we're going to go with this intercooler piping. So we are going to put the time lapse on, and we're going to get some work done. Very big day today, guys. So we haven't been filming in a while for the E36, mainly because I went to put on the drive shaft and it was too short. So I contacted Excessive Manufacturing, and they said no problem, we'll get you a longer one made. They don't know what happened with why mine was so short. But anyways, it took them a while to make it, and I kept calling them, and then I finally said, hey guys, there's this car show that I want to make it to this weekend, and I would really like to have my drive shaft. So they knocked it out in one day and then overnighted it to me. So shout out to them for that. So hopefully the car meet is tomorrow, and I've never driven the car. It doesn't have exhaust, it doesn't have anything, but I'm up early right now because we are going to try to get this car knocked out, done on the road. That way I could drive it to the exhaust shop, get an exhaust made, get an alignment, and then tomorrow drive it to a car show. So fingers crossed, we're gonna see if we can make it, and a lot of work to do. I also have another project. I have a clutch line because something is wrong with my clutch pedal. It is very hard to push. I don't know why. So I got the clutch line because when we were pushing the clutch pedal in, I saw the clutch line like exploding like a balloon, and I was like, maybe it is time for a new clutch line. It's been sitting out for a while, so maybe the rubber got nasty, I don't know. So anyways, we got this new clutch line for it, so hopefully that ends up fixing that problem. So with the clutch line, drive shaft, I have to adjust the front toe on the car because it's all the wheels all wonky right now. So we're gonna go out there, we're gonna throw on this drive shaft, we're gonna try to bleed a clutch and install a clutch by myself, and then we're gonna try to see if we can get this sucker moving under its own power. Well, sorry I haven't been the best at filming, but I have a deadline. And this car, haven't even driven it, tested it, and I gotta drive it on the freeway for half an hour tomorrow. So I wanted to make sure that I'm doing everything I can, and this thing is ready to drive now. Got the drive shaft in, I topped off the diff fluid, I topped off the trans fluid, I wired reverse. I don't even know if it's gonna work, but I wired reverse. I checked the oil, it's good. I do need to change it though, because that's the first startup oil still. But what I'm gonna do is drive it around the block, make sure everything is good. I did replace the clutch line. The clutch works, it's just really, really stiff. But anyways, we're going to move that Lexus out of the garage and we're going to put this outside and we're going to take it for a putt around the neighborhood. I'm not going to do anything too crazy because the car is super loud right now. And if everything goes good, I'm going to start calling exhaust shops and see if I can get an exhaust made for this thing today. Yeah, catch you on the test drive. Okay, 14.8, 122, 30 pounds of oil pressure. Let's go for a putt. The clutch is so freaking stiff and sensitive. It's like impossible to drive. Gonna drive it nice and slow just in case anything wants to break. I'm in fourth. Let's try fifth. Not bad. Drive straight, but the steering wheel is way off. Well, guys, it's been a crazy day. Crazy. I woke up at around 7 o'clock in the morning and I started I put myself into gear. Like, I started working on this car, put the drive shaft in. I pretty much did a lot of stuff to pretty much button up the car enough to drive it. And now the reason why I wanted to drive it is because I needed to take it to the exhaust shop. So luckily those guys were able to take me in today. They knocked it out in a little over an hour and they charged me $260, which is not too bad because I needed it now. And I was like, I gave him no option. I said, you guys need to make me this exhaust. And they did a pretty good job. I'll attach the video right here. Dude, this shit is so perfect. It's so perfect. Sick. Right now, we got the car in the garage. Poor old Lexus is over there in the backyard with the damn windows down. I completely forgot about that. Right now what we're going to do is we're actually just going to clay and polish this car because it has been a long time since this sucker has got any love. Can you hear that? We're going to clay bar it. We're going to make it all smooth and we're going to do some polishing too. And we might cut it with some rubbing compound on the trunk because as you guys see, I test fitted a wing on there and it kind of messed up the trunk. So yeah. We have a lot of cleaning to do. Kind of sucks. It's been outside so long that the clear started to peel on the top of the rear bumper. But hey, what can you do? Got my girlfriend over there. She's probably gonna be on the clay bar, and then I'll be on the buffer wheel. And we are going to clean this car up real good. Hey guys, so I didn't really film much, but we did end up hitting that car show. I'll post a few pictures right here. I went out to support my boy Court from Me So Fresh. I showed with him. So I'm overall happy that the Beamer made it, ran good. And well, there's a tiny hesitation right before it gets in a boost, but I'm not complaining. There's, you know, putting a different motor in a different car, there's always a lot of things that, you know, can go wrong. I'm just happy, runs and drives, has good oil pressure, doesn't overheat, it actually cools awesome. There's a few more things I got to figure out with the car, like when you fill the gas tank to full, it leaks because I didn't tighten that fuel pump cap all the way. It was just really hard. But this thing's registered, insured. She's ready to hit the road. I'm ready to daily drive this thing. It's a tiny bit louder than I want it to be, but whatever, we'll see if we can get away with that. I haven't put my front plate on. I feel like that's necessary on a daily driven car. It looks good, doesn't look too loud, so I love it. What can I say? We swapped this engine. It took us, I don't know, about 6 months, you know, but we've been working on it on and off. But I love it. I have zero complaints with the car. I'm going to continue modifying it. I got a few special things that I'm going to do to it just to make it kind of run better. And you know, like the whole stock ECU thing, you know, like the boost cut thing you gotta take care of so you can run like 15 pounds of boost. But other than that, I'm gonna keep working on the car. We have a lot of other stuff coming for it, and I'm excited to show you guys. But I want to thank you for watching this series. It's not really over, but like, you know, the part 1, part 2, part thing, I'm gonna end that because we're just literally gonna start working on the 1JZ. So it has nothing really to do with the E36 in general. Everything that has to do with the E36 is done. So now we're just gonna start working on the 1J. We're gonna make it better. We're gonna make it faster. We're gonna dyno it soon, so stay tuned for that, guys. But I wanna thank you for watching this whole series about 1J swapping this E36. I think it came out great. I hope you guys like it, and I appreciate you guys watching the channel. See you guys later. Peace out, guys.